Well, hello guys. How are you all doing today? This is Barb with Bows on Edge, where we do crime on children. Um, it's just something that is not necessary. You don't need to treat your children like that. You do not need to treat anybody you know's children like that. And I'm appalled at some of these parents. It's just unbelievable. So I'm going to do, I think I have 4 stories here. They're not real long, which is why I have them crammed together. But this first story is about a mother who kept her 2-year-old child in a suitcase to keep him warm on their journey outside. 29-year-old Ashley Gibson from Indiana has been arrested after she allegedly boarded a city bus carrying a rolling suitcase with a 2-year-old child zipped inside, explaining that it was an effort to keep him warm. So you didn't have a stroller, you didn't have any blankets. That's bullshit. Ashley was taken into custody and charged with 1 count of felony child neglect and 1 count of misdemeanor criminal recklessness. The incident took place aboard a Bloomington transit bus on December 12, 2024. Shortly after Ashley boarded the bus, the driver realized there was a child inside the woman's suitcase. They pulled the bus over and immediately called 911. Excellent job. Upon arriving at the scene, officers reviewed surveillance footage from inside the vehicle and reportedly discovered that Ashley boarded the bus at 1:43 p.m. and sat near the front of the bus, meaning the toddler had been zipped inside of the suitcase for at least 18 minutes. Speaking with one of the responding officers, Ashley allegedly confirmed that the child was 2 years old and explained that she had intentionally kept him inside of the closed suitcase because she was trying to keep him warm. However, the officers found the explanation peculiar, noting the child was wearing a puffy winter coat with long pants and appeared properly dressed for the cold weather, which reached a high of about 37 degrees. Pressed further as to why she would zip up a toddler inside the suitcase, Ashley reportedly told officers that she had spoken to her family caseworker about it, and the caseworker told her it was okay to do so. Bullcrap. And a caseworker out there, I don't care how bad they are, is going to tell you can keep your child inside a suitcase. Further investigation revealed that Ashley did not explain why the child remained inside the suitcase once aboard the bus. A probable cause affidavit stated that police recommended Ashley face criminal charges for placing the child inside of a suitcase, zipping it up, and placing the child in a situation that endangers his life or health. Police took Ashley into custody, and she made her initial appearance in court where she was represented by a public defender and entered a plea of not guilty to charges. So you're denying the fact that the child was in the suitcase? Or is she denying the fact that it should be criminal? She was released on her own recognizance, provided she abide by a set of conditions set by the state's Department of Child Services. She is scheduled to appear in court March 9th, 2025, for a pre-trial conference, and a jury trial is to begin on April 23rd. And if convicted, she faces a maximum sentence of 2.5 years in prison. That's it. That's it. Now, this next one, hang on, I need a drink here. Wait till you hear this next one. Oh my God. People. You should have to take classes for parenting when you're pregnant. to weed out all the idiots. If you fall below a certain test score, you shouldn't be allowed to keep your child. Authorities in Alabama allege a missing 1-year-old boy whose disappearance came to light after his family members died in a car crash months after he was last seen. Suffered gruesome abuse before vanishing. So, I don't know how they got that information. But anyway, 1-year-old Caleb Collins was last seen in September of 2024. Police only learned of his disappearance in December 2024 when his father, Stephen Bradley Collins, and sister Riley Denise Collins died in a car crash when Stephen was driving 92 miles per hour when he went off the road and crashed into a tree. Caleb is presumed dead, and Caleb's mother, Wendy Pamela Bailey, who was critically injured in the crash, has since been arrested on several charges, including domestic violence. The investigation into Caleb's disappearance led police to unearth gruesome details of alleged abuse authorities say the boy suffered. In charging documents, investigators allege that on at least one occasion, Caleb was photographed hanging from a loft with a rope. Well, how was he hanging? Was he hanging by his neck? Was he hanging by his wrists? Was he hanging by his ankles? I mean, the only way it makes a difference is if he was hanging by his neck. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how he was hanging there. He shouldn't have been fucking hanging there at all. Excuse my language. The photos were shared by Stephen sometime in July and were followed up with text messages in which Stephen wrote, "He won't move. I'm so sorry." At one point in the text exchange, Wendy says, "He just looks wore out and tired and hurt. Hopefully that's all." Stephen also allegedly told Wendy that he was going to kill the child. Wendy is accused of failing to report or intervene during physical abuse. Why would you sit back and knowing that your child is being mistreated, why would you not interfere with that? Police further allege Caleb was killed, placed in an outdoor storage shed, and then moved to a location yet to be determined. The case has been shrouded in mystery from the beginning of the investigation as questions remain about the circumstances surrounding Caleb's disappearance. In November, Stephen wrote in a Facebook post that Caleb was ill and needed surgery. This post was written months after the child was last seen. He is not growing and has major back issues. His organs are growing, but his body is not. How do you even come up with a story like that to tell people when you know your child's missing? But how do you even come up with that explanation? Or his organs were growing, but his body was not. Gosh. Keep him in your prayers. It's been rough, and it just seems going to be a long, rough road ahead of us. Meanwhile, a neighbor said that they were aware the family had a son, but they never seen the boy. Authorities have not announced an estimated time of death. Wendy has been charged with abuse of a corpse, aggravated child abuse, and domestic violence. She was also charged with criminally negligent homicide in connection with the death of Riley, who was not wearing a seatbelt or in a car seat at the time of the crash, and failing to report abuse of her son and showing extreme indifference to the value of her son's life. The grandfather, John Elton Bailey, is also arrested on a charge of failing to report Caleb missing. Investigators alleged in a complaint against John Bailey that the child likely suffered serious bodily harm or death and was believed to have been removed from the home and taken to an unknown location. A recently filed corpse abuse complaint revealed disturbing details about the torture Caleb endured in the days and weeks leading up to his presumed death. Wendy admitted to failing to intervene on more than 2 occasions that Caleb Rowan Collins was physically abused by torturous means such as being bound with rope, physically assaulted, and when he was bound by the rope, he was hung from a loft and he had blood on him and there was bruising present. Hang on, guys. I forgot to do something here. And there we go. I don't get it. How you can have so much anger in a child that you're going to beat them. Sorry, I've got an itchy head today, guys. How can you beat your child so bad that you kill them and then you hide them, hide the body, and then you purposely make up health issues to post on Facebook? He's my little girl. Okay. I don't know if you guys get as aggravated as I do, but there's no reason for this type of treatment. Acts of parents. The parents of a 7-month-old child were arrested for second-degree cruelty to a juvenile. Second-degree cruelty is a felony offense that involves causing a child under 18 years old cruel or excessive physical or mental harm. The offender must act with intentional or criminal negligence. Can you get comfy, little girl? The offense can result in serious bodily injury or neurological impairment to the child. The investigation by the sheriff's office began when they were contacted by the Louisiana Department of Children and Family Services, who told them the child was suffering from neglect. According to the officials, the child had been in the hospital from birth to ongoing medical issues. When the child was released from the hospital, the parents were instructed to feed their child through the feeding tube. Allegations have been made that the father, 47-year-old Marcus J. Blue, was seen by someone giving the baby a bottle of infant formula. The Department of Children and Family Services officials say the child appeared to be dehydrated. Both the father and the mother, 26-year-old Brittany Nero, were instructed on what to do with the child's feeding and breathing tube. It's a serious issue, guys. Why would you not follow that? They were given instructions on the proper way to take care of the baby. In addition to the situation with the incorrect feeding, investigators say they found diaper rash so severe on the child that there were bleeding sores on her skin. The Sheriff's Office Special Victims Unit detectives received a report on May 2nd from the Department of Children and Family Services in reference to a 7-month-old that was neglected by her parents. And investigators say they learned the child was taken to a local hospital on April 26th, unconscious and not breathing. The child was transported to another medical facility, and the little girl is in the custody of DCF. The judge set bond for both of the parents, and the mother bonded out. I don't know what's going on with that case right now. I haven't been able to find any additional information. But why, if your child came home on a feeding tube, would you purposely ignore medical advice or medical instructions? It wasn't even advice. It was medical instructions on how to feed your baby properly. You're just going to make up things as you go along, right? So it didn't appear that they had that child in their custody for very long, because it seemed like when the child was born, they were kept in the NICU for many months until the child got healthy enough to go home, but yet was still on a feeding tube and a breathing tube. I sure hope that the medical issue, the not breathing, not breathing had to do with the fact that they disconnected that. God, I hope not. God, I hope not. Okay, this story, I have never heard of this happening. You guys have got to let me know if you've heard of this before. I've never heard of it. Okay. A couple in South Carolina have been arrested after police say they burned an infant with scalding hot toilet water that reached 129 degrees Fahrenheit. Who has hot toilet water? I've never heard of that. You gotta let me know. 25-year-old Nigel and 21-year-old Mahogany of Kingtree, South Carolina, surrendered themselves to police on April 11th through the burning of the child, though the burning of the child happened in March 18th. So almost, 3 weeks later, a little less than 3 weeks. The couple is charged only with unlawful conduct toward a child, and they are were detained at the Williamsburg County Detention Center. Mahogany allegedly told police she was aware that the water in their toilet had been extremely hot for roughly a year. Nothing was ever done to fix the issue, and however, when police investigated, they learned the water temperature was almost 130 degrees. Water boils at 212 degrees. Police say Mahogany and Nigel placed their infant daughter at risk, affecting the infant's life, health, and safety. A review of public online court records show the case was docketed in criminal court and was unclear if they had obtained attorneys for themselves. And I don't know what happened with that case either, but I didn't know that there could be hot water running to a toilet. Absolutely did not know. So that's new to me. So you guys got to let me know what you think. Put your comments down below. If you haven't already done so, do me a favor. Please subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. Hit the thumbs up button and that notification bell so you know the next time that I upload a video. And until next time, guys, peace.